Hello, my name is Steve Stevens and I'm speaking to you from the Durham Dyslexia Centre, which is part of the Durham Centre for Education. I'm a specialist teacher, which means that I help children, students and adults with specific learning difficulties. People sometimes ask me what is a specific learning difficulty and how does it differ from dyslexia. The term specific learning difficulty is an umbrella term which covers a wide variety of difficulties. Many people use it synonymously with dyslexia, but this isn't really helpful. Dyslexia is just one of this group of specific learning difficulties that may include dysgraphia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, attention deficit disorder and Asperger's syndrome. Now, each of these specific learning difficulties indicate the area of learning which an individual may find harder to get to grips with than would normally be the case. Unfortunately, just describing somebody as having a specific learning difficulty does not in itself indicate the best strategy for the individual to adopt to best cope with their studies. No two individuals will have the same cognitive profile, i.e. strengths and weaknesses, so that two individuals, both of whom can be said to have dyslexic difficulties, may well require differing educational responses. So a specific learning difficulty describes the area of learning that the individual finds difficult. It doesn't describe the individual. Dysgraphia is a difficulty with writing. It frequently has associated difficulties with fine motor control, and other skills requiring fine motor control may also be affected. Typical signs of dysgraphia are letters that are irregularly sized and shaped, maybe an inappropriate mixture of upper and lower case letters, or print and cursive letters. Letters may be unfinished and may be formed differently each time they're written. The student will probably find that writing will cause extreme fatigue in the hand, and they may be seen flicking their writing hand to release muscular cramp. Because the process of handwriting is so difficult, the individual has to concentrate on pencil control, and thus dysgraphia interferes with the ability to communicate ideas in writing. Dyspraxia is a specific learning difficulty associated with gross motor coordination. It's also called developmental coordination disorder, or maybe developmental coordination delay. Children and adults with dyspraxia may find that they're clumsier than their peers. Dyspraxia is a developmental delay, and sometimes it affects not only movement but also fine motor movement, hand and eye coordination, sequencing and organisation. It may even affect speech, perception and thought. Dyscalculia is a difficulty with performing mathematical calculations. Students with dyscalculia will have normal language ability for the printed word. However, they may not notice mistakes like the omission or reversal of numbers. Individuals with dyscalculic type difficulties may struggle to remember specific facts and formulas. They'll find it hard to follow sequential directions or to master arithmetic facts by traditional methods. Even telling and keeping track of the time and relating the sequence of past and future events may also be surprisingly challenging. Students may even become disorientated because they can easily confuse left and right. Attention deficit disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are sometimes abbreviated to ADD and ADHD. Individuals with these difficulties may well have disruptive behaviour, but the behaviour cannot be described as being of a psychiatric nature. Their behaviour may not be age appropriate, so an older person may misbehave in a way that's similar to a much younger peer. Individuals with attention difficulties will have difficulty focusing on a specific task and will find completing tasks very hard. Some research shows that individuals with hyperactive impulsive symptoms tend to have more behavioural problems than individuals with the inattentive type of disorder, ADD. Individuals with ADD can sometimes become depressed and suffer from anxiety. Asperger's syndrome is a condition on the autistic spectrum continuum. People with Asperger's show many different types of behaviour, but they may include difficulty with change and difficulty with reading non-verbal cues, for example, body language, facial expression, etc. Thus, people with Asperger's may well respond to situations in unexpected ways. Sometimes people with Asperger's will become preoccupied with a particular subject and develop obsessive routines. If a student with Asperger's becomes obsessed in an academic subject, this can be a real asset. They may well have high attention to detail and be punctual, reliable and dedicated. Autism is oh dear me. Autism is a developmental disability characterized by impairments in social skills, language and behavior. However, these difficulties occur at different levels. So some individuals may have no verbal communication or eye contact at all, while others will have limited speech and can cope in some social situations. Autism is based within the brain, and the National Autistic Society has estimated that the number of families in Britain that are affected by having an autistic member is over 500,000. Students with dyslexia will have difficulties with the use of both written and sometimes oral language. This is due to processing difficulties, including visual or auditory perceptual skills, and is not necessarily related to prior education. They may have difficulties associated with short-term auditory working memory, concentration and organisation. It cannot be stressed too much that all individuals are exactly that, individuals. Two students, both of them exhibiting dyslexic difficulties, will have different cognitive profiles, which are the cause of their difficulties. They will therefore require different strategies for overcoming their clusters of difficulties. I hope that you understand now that the term specific learning difficulty describes many difficulties. To work out a sensible plan of action to ameliorate specific learning difficulties and to develop sensible strategies to assist the individual to achieve their potential requires a thorough assessment of the individual's cognitive profile. Depending on the nature of the specific learning difficulty, different experts will need to be approached. ADD and ADHD, as well as autism and Asperger's syndrome, may well have to be diagnosed by a paediatrician. Dysgraphia and dyspraxia may well be diagnosed by specialist occupational therapists. And dyslexia and dyscalculia can be identified by specialist teachers and educational psychologists. There's a lot of overlap between the areas of expertise of the different professionals. The first thing that you should do if you suspect that your child has learning difficulty is that you should approach the class teacher and then the Senko at the school, and they will advise you as to the best expert to approach next. I hope you found this short talk helpful, and there are other short videos on the website which might give you further information that you will find useful. Thank you for listening.